When this episode first aired, it caused a pretty big split. Some people loved it, other people hated it. And I, out of a combination of boredom and not really having much to say, decided to just make a silly montage video of all the funny faces that Rainbow Dash made. And that video, despite the fact that I had put almost no effort into it, became the second most popular video on my channel. I think the secret to success is clear here. From now on, Camgoespony will be a 100% absolutely zero effort and zero quality channel. Want to know what I thought of the episode? Read the title of the video. There. Now I don't have to do anything. I should start a Patreon. Daring Don't could be considered Season 4's one bad apple, and not just because they're both the 4th episode. Both episodes were awfully divisive in the community. This episode received some of the highest praise from some people, and received some of the harshest criticism from others. And it's episodes like this where I think it's extra important that people express their opinions. So here I am, right on time, by which I mean 6 months late, to tell everyone what I thought of Daring Don't. The episode starts off 4 months before the release of the next Daring Do book, and Rainbow Dash just cannot wait. Only 15 seconds into the episode, and we've already gotten to one of the biggest complaints I've seen about this episode. A lot of people looked at this and said, "What? Rainbow Dash is freaking out about this, and it's a whole 4 months away? That's ridiculous." To which I say, yes, it is ridiculous. That's why it's a joke. The analysis community has always had a bit of a strange relationship to jokes. They can usually make them pretty well, but often seem to utterly fail to recognize one when it's shoved in their face. Maybe they thought it was too ridiculous even for joke standards? I don't know. But jokes aside, there is something else that I want to ask anyone who was put off by the 4 months thing. If 4 months was replaced with something more reasonable, like a single week, would you have liked the episode more? And if so, do you think you might be putting too much stake in what is ultimately an insignificant and inconsequential part of the episode's exposition? Anyway, I've given that scene way more lip service than it deserves, so let's move on with the story. Rainbow Dash's fangirling is abruptly ended when she learns that the next book got delayed another 2 months. Rainbow Dash, being her usual well-meaning but not exactly the most considerate self, suggests that all the main 6 go and help the author, aka Yearling, with various household things so that she could dedicate more time to writing the book. It's a nice thought, but probably not the best solution. Twilight grudgingly agrees though, and our heroes are off to find the house of aka Yearling. Things quickly become problematic when they realize that aka Yearling seems to have more problems than just menial everyday chores. When the main 6 arrive, they find her house completely ransacked. Then aka Yearling shows up, does a thing, then some hitmen show up, then a fight starts, and we find out that aka Yearling actually is Daring Do. Now before I address that bombshell, can I just say that I really like the designs for these hitman ponies? I can just imagine the story behind their cutie marks. One day, they're beating up some kid for lunch money when, bam! A shiny Interrobang appears on all their flanks. Excitedly, they all run home and are like, "Look, Ma, Pa, I'm destined to be a hired goon when I grow up." Also, they need names. I personally like calling them Biff, Pow, and Zop. Now what was I talking about? Oh, right. So aka Yearling is Daring Do. Neat. This is the biggest dividing part in the episode. Generally, whether or not you like this episode depends on whether or not you're willing to accept that. I'm perfectly willing to accept that aka Yearling and Daring Do are the same pony. After all, why not? This show has thrown curveballs at us before, and nothing has hurt in the show by having Daring Do be real. Well, not real, but fictional real. You know what I mean. Some people say that the episode could have been better if Daring Do remained fictional, but that's just baseless conjecture. If Daring Do was fictional, then the episode would have been a different episode entirely. And saying that a completely different, hypothetical, non-existent episode would probably be better than the real one is just useless. Criticize something for what it is, not what it isn't. Anyway, so Daring Do is real, well, not real, but fictional real, you know what I mean, and needless to say, Rainbow Dash is a little bit starstruck. And after Daring Do sets out after her attackers, Rainbow Dash follows to try to help her. The specifics of what Daring Do is doing and why makes less sense and is harder to follow than an episode of classic Doctor Who, so I'm not even going to try. That might sound like a complaint, but it's not. The story here is about the lesson that Rainbow Dash and Daring Do learn. Whatever it is that these bad guys are doing and why they need a magical ring to do it is, at the end of the day, irrelevant. So let's get back to the important story. So Rainbow Dash is helping Daring Do, but not really being helpful. In fact, she just screws things up and Daring Do gets captured as a result. Understandably, Rainbow Dash kind of beats herself up over it, but then her friends come and start putting some sense into her. Twilight tells her that she had put Daring Do on such a high pedestal that you can't even see her as a real pony anymore, and the rest of her friends encourage her to go help Daring Do now that she needs it more than ever. So Rainbow Dash goes from wanting to help Daring Do, to not wanting to help Daring Do, and back to wanting to help her again. That might sound like a kind of backwards lesson, but it's really important to see the difference in Rainbow Dash's mindset in these two parts. At first, Rainbow Dash wants to help Daring Do, not because she thinks that Daring Do genuinely needs help, but only because Daring Do is cool, and helping her would be even cooler. As Twilight said, she had put Daring Do up on a pedestal, and Rainbow Dash's self-serving attitude isn't very conducive to being helpful, so it ends badly. But in the end, Rainbow Dash comes to see Daring Do as an actual pony who actually needs actual help, and together they are able to stop the bad guys. And with the bad guys defeated, both Daring Do and Rainbow Dash learn a valuable lesson about friendship, and Rainbow Dash even receives an advanced copy of the next book. This episode makes a great start to Dave Polsky's awesomeness streak in Season 4. Take a surprisingly complex moral and fill it with some cool action scenes and just general Daring Do badassery, and you've got a solid episode. Sure, if you wanted to, you could be all humorless and nitpicky about it, but in doing that, you're only robbing yourself of a perfectly good and enjoyable episode. So I'd like to end this video with a lesson of my own for the rest of the analysis community. Analyzing is not synonymous with nitpicking. Be an analyst, not a nitpicker. Thank you for watching.